Hey, how you guys do? You ready? In the mixtape.
Hola amigos del Mixtape, bienvenidos a otro episodio. En este episodio tenemos a una persona muy especial, directo desde Connecticut, Holden de Del Water Gap. How are you, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for the wait and thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
I want to start this with a question that is gonna take us back in time. So I want to know how your childhood sounds. What is that artist, that album, that song, I don't know, that marks your childhood?
Yeah, I was a super quiet kid growing up.
Okay.
I was pretty shy, and I grew up in the country, between two dairy farms, like north of New York City. Yeah, my parents didn't really like music, so I sort of came to music on my own. I think the first CD I bought was by Smash Mouth.
Okay.
And I had an aunt who started buying me some CDs when I was like.
What is about the album?
What is it about? I don't know. It's sort of a funny like late 90s, early 2000s album.
Okay.
It's really corny. It's like a very it's kind of self-conscious. It's funny, but it's beautiful, and it sort of holds up production-wise, and the writing is strangely profound in some ways. But I guess the first cool music I got into was like Arcade Fire. I grew up listening to a lot of Arcade Fire, and I remember finding Bob Dylan and a lot of songwriters, sort of in that world. When I was a young teen, I found Joni Mitchell and Randy Newman and people like that, and that sort of introduced me to music as a medium for writing.
Okay.
So I pretty early on wanted to be a songwriter. Yeah.
Okay, you start with the songwriting, right?
Yeah.
You play any instruments?
Yeah, I play guitar. And
you play guitar?
Piano, yeah.
How this come from you? Sorry.
I'm going to say it again?
Yeah.
No, what's the question though?
How the guitar playing it's come to your life?
Oh, my mom got me a guitar as a present. It was my neighbor's.
Okay.
She bought it off my neighbor. So
What age is this?
Probably 11 or 12.
11
yeah.
or 12? And you learned to play like right away, or did you take your time?
I taught myself just online. I never really took lessons, but again, I always just wanted to do it as a way to songwrite. So I just learned what I needed to write songs around it. So I just learned a lot of chords.
These two things, and this helped to your songwriting skills.
Sure. Yeah.
You remember what it's the subject of your first song?
Probably trying to get girls. I don't know.
Okay.
I was a big romantic. I always had crushes on girls, but I didn't know how to talk to any of them.
Yeah.
So I'd write songs about that, about feeling shy and feeling like I couldn't talk to anyone.
And it works?
Yeah, it's worked. I've gotten some girls since then. Not many, but a couple.
Yeah. You play in the Corona Capital Saturday?
Yeah, tomorrow,
Yeah. You have played before in like a festival like this big?
Yeah, I've played a ton of festivals. I've never played in Mexico before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've played all over. I did Lollapalooza and Governor's Ball and so many. I mean, I've done so many festivals the last few years, yeah.
What's the feel of playing in Mexico? How does it feel?
It feels great. I've played in Europe a lot. I've played in the United Kingdom and Ireland and all that, and all over America and Canada, and Australia. It's always really exciting to come to a new place. I got off at the airport, and there was a bunch of kids there that said hi to me and took some pictures, and that's always sort of a surprising and inspiring thing to realize that there's anyone down here that knows who I am. So that's really cool. And I spent some time in Mexico, not for work, but I came here a year ago for my birthday.
Okay.
And just ate a lot of really good food, and I had like one of the best trips of my life here. So I've always had a real connection to Mexico City, Mexico, and
it's a beautiful place.
It's beautiful.
And it's like
beautiful, yeah.
Really big.
Yeah,
you can find
it's huge.
So many things, so many things to eat, things to listen. You heard music from here?
Music from here? I'm trying to think. My first girlfriend was from San Miguel.
Okay.
So she showed me a lot of like Mexican jazz music and instrumental music when we were together. That was, I mean, I was a teenager at the time.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm honestly very familiar with contemporary Mexican music.
Sure.
Can you give me some recommendations?
Yeah, sure. From what I listen of your music, I can say like. División minúscula, ¿cómo se llama? Javier Blake.
Oh, cool.
That is a great songwriter, and Car Accidents.
Car Accidents.
Yeah,
that's a good name.
Yeah, it's a good name. And actually, that guy changed a lot of the name.
Nice.
It's like accidents, like car accidents, and before he has another one. But the music, it's really like folk.
Cool.
I kind of have that vibe of your music. Like
yeah, for sure.
Folk, like indie, like a little bit like romantic music, guitar playing. And I want to ask about the production of your music, actually, because I hear a lot of sounds like natural sounds, like I don't know if you record in like house in like a mountain, something like that, or in a studio, a really good studio. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. I definitely started my career recording at home and recording in living spaces, and as things have grown, I've been able to work in studios and work with producers, but I think we've been able to strike a real balance of I try to start a lot of things on my own and keep it a bit DIY, and then bring in some folks to help finish. Yeah.
And I'd like to tell you, like, I hear a little bit of Bon Iver in your music. I don't know if you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I that record Forever Ago like came out right when I started writing music, so it was a big like early record for me. Yeah.
That's a cool thing I hear about your music,
cool.
And I like the way the way that songs are like in a structure, and the way you write. I want to know if you can tell me like one song that's your favorite. I don't know if it's big or not, but one that you like.
So a song of mine?
Yeah.
I wrote a song called Too Philly, which I really like. I put out a record called Don't Get Dark a few years ago, and it got a little bit buried, unfortunately, but strangely, a lot of musicians that have found my music through that record, and there's a song in there called Too Philly, which I really love. It's very special to me. It's about like a long distance relationship, and trying to hold on to little moments, in between the time apart. So.
Okay, you write about things that happen to you, or you write like some stories of your friends?
It's like Truth Plus.
Okay,
it's like auto fiction or something. So it's a lot of the truth, and then certain things turned up, certain things turned down. Yeah,
I like that in the songwriting thing.
Yeah,
and I want to ask about the inspiration of your music. I know you say Bob Dylan, you say some artists. But I don't know, an artist that you like, that you wanna like do a shout out, like I do write this thing from hearing that. I don't know.
I don't know if I actually have that with music, honestly. Like I'm not someone that really. I hate to say it, but I'm not a musician. I don't consume a whole lot of music when I'm making music.
Okay.
I sort of step away from listening to music when it comes to making my own music.
Okay.
Helps me focus a little bit. But I do watch a lot of movies, and I read a lot of poetry.
Okay.
So I love the poet Louise Gluck.
Okay.
She's been a huge inspiration to my writing.
Again, please?
Louise Gluck.
Louise Gluck.
Yeah, and I watch a lot of movies. I really like Gus Van Sant. And I like David Lynch. Yeah, I've pulled a lot from their writing, and I try to read a lot of books. So, I've been reading some Sylvia Plath, and some Dylan Thomas, and I find it easier to sort of pull ingredients from other mediums,
Okay.
than music.
That's really good, and you can hear it in the music. Like the way that you write the songs it's from me or from what I listened. Like storytelling. Like you had to you go to point A to point B, and that's a thing I like about the writing of songs.
Cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah.
You are this show is about recommendations, so I want to ask what kind of things you do before getting into music. Like in one day you had a session and I don't know 6 p.m. What are you doing before that?
Yeah, I mean, I love running. I'm a big runner.
Okay.
I'm running the LA Marathon in March. Cool. So running's become a big part of my life. What's that?
You're preparing yourself to that?
Yeah. So I love running. I mean, it's such a good meditation. Okay. It's good focused time alone. You know, I think like it is so hard in this modern world to find time, especially if you live in a city like we both do, to find time alone and find time away from your phone and find time away from distractions.
Okay.
And I love running because it's a, you know, it can be like a focused hour or 2 hours in a day. I'm just alone with my thoughts.
That's pretty cool.
And it becomes a real meditation. And, you know, it's nice to have a goal outside of music and outside of my career. And the goal of, you know, pushing my body is I find it very inspiring. So yeah, I love running.
So you go for a little run, and then
drink some coffee. I love coffee.
Okay.
Just another big thing about touring. I feel like there's good coffee shops pretty much everywhere in the world now.
Sure.
So it's a good thing on tour to feel, you know, when you're a little bit homesick, go find a coffee shop and read for a bit and journal. So yeah, I love journaling. I love reading. I love drinking coffee. Nothing, you know, nothing too spectacular, but yeah. And like I said, I love movies. I try to watch a lot of movies. I'm in a film club with my grandma.
Okay.
So we watch a movie every week together.
What can you tell us about it? Like a good movie to...
A good movie. I'm trying to think of what I saw recently. Recently, I saw a film called Yi.
Yi?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Taiwanese. It's like 4 hours long. It's endless, but it's beautiful. And it sort of just connected vignettes of people going through life.
Okay.
And it's profound in its monotony. You know, it's like a married couple and they're fighting, and a guy that runs out of money, and a little kid at school like who's getting bullied. It's very monotonous, but it's like it's sort of high art in its normalcy. Okay. It's very
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I've loved it. It's taken me a few tries to get through it because, you know, just watching a 4-hour movie is a lot. But
in the plane, maybe?
On the plane, yeah. I can't stay awake on planes, though. I always fall asleep. Okay. So
that's
cool.
About
15 minutes in.
I really like that. I can stand awake in planes, too.
Yeah, it's helpful. Yeah.
And then the space you get in the plane, it's like so small.
You end up asleep on a stranger, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's about a movie. And where you listen, I don't know, you say that maybe running.
Yeah.
You listen to music? Or
sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I've been listening to John Prine.
John Prine?
He's great. Okay. He's very funny, witty, profound songwriting. I think it's his first record. It's really good. But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of songwriter music. I'm starting an album, so... Okay. Listening to the Bruce Springsteen album, Nebraska. Just sort of a very quiet, thoughtful, dark record. Been listening to Townes Van Zandt. Similarly, just like beautiful, sort of cynical and profound.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of any new music I've been listening to. I guess I've been listening to Clairo's record. Do you know Clairo?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, her new record's great. Charm. I love it.
I can recommend you like one guy. It's called Rainy.
Rainy?
Rini. R-I-N-I.
Rini, cool.
Yeah. That
Mexican?
It's awesome.
Cool. Is he Mexican?
No, it's I think it's from United States.
Oh, cool.
Right? but he's like a R&B singer.
Cool.
I like a lot like R&B singers,
Yeah.
and he's one of them. And I don't know, it's kind of I don't know. I don't want to say the same of your music, but it kind of have
Cool.
the same vibe.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'll check them out.
And I want to know about the performance, the live performance. How do you prepare for that? And if you're gonna do something here in Mexico, like a little bit out of your usual, I don't know.
It's a good question. I mean, we'll see. See how I feel tomorrow.
Yeah, you had the set list.
Yeah, I have a set
done?
list. We have a set list. But I like to change it on the fly too.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm really close with the people I play with, so we're all very good friends, and so the ritual before the show is often just us spending time together.
Okay.
Do a little meditation. We listen to some music. We try to sort of focus our energy together. So a lot of times we just think about who we want to play the show for, and sometimes it's like we think about, okay, is this anyone's first concert? Let's play it for that person. Or is this anyone's, will this be the first and last time someone here ever sees us play? Let's think about that. Try to make it really precious.
Okay.
Because for us, we've played like 60, 70 shows this year. But for most people seeing a show, it's their one show, right?
Yeah,
so you got to really like try to not get too numb, and really try to make it special.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then we listen to music too. I like to listen to Oasis before I go on.
Yeah,
there's this great Oasis record called Familiar to Millions.
Okay.
And it's a live record from their shows at Wembley. And it's just like it's very high energy, and
what do you like about that?
it just gets me fucking going. It's so like the epitome of, I don't know, like my vision of how I grew up imagining rock stars,
Okay.
It's like Oasis at Wembley. Something about it. The sort of British attitude. I love it.
You had like these songs like are really calm, like low energy. But in the set list, how do you do the set list? How is like, okay, I'm gonna put like a calm song here, and then I'm gonna excite the.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that selection of songs.
Yeah, I mean, before any cycle, you ideally spend a lot of time rehearsing. And it's like any other performance, it has an arc, and you try to play with that arc, and then you get in front of an audience and it feels completely different.
Okay.
Because a show is such a conversation between the audience and the performer. So you get in front of people and you know pretty quickly what works and what doesn't work. You realize when you start losing people.
Okay.
So you want to have a bit of a give and take, building of tension and release. And the more you do it, the more you play the music in the set, the more you learn about how it's all fitting together.
How people react to
Yeah,
it.
just repetition. You learn about it, and then just when you think it's perfect, you have to change it again though, because you get bored.
You play. This is your first time in Mexico. So, are you prepared for the Mexican crowd?
I hope
you
so.
hear things?
I've heard things. I've definitely heard things. I've heard good things.
Yeah, really good things. Actually, I don't want to do the question like, no, the people of Mexico, it's crazy, it goes.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
Actually, and that's a good. I don't know how to say it. Like, the people here wanna hear music.
Yeah.
So they go with like an open mind. And that makes the band who's playing like more like, okay, this is working, and
totally.
It's really, really good. The Mexican people, it's really warm, and in the show you're gonna feel it.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I'm excited. I mean, and like I said, it's such a conversation, and when you get a good energy in the crowd, it just makes me better at my job. It makes me have more fun, and it's such a give and take, and a lot of my friends have played some of their favorite shows of their careers in Mexico, so I'm excited to experience that.
You can tell us who's that playing in Mexico that say.
So actually, a friend of mine. Do you know King Princess?
I don't know, but
she's great. She's an artist from New York City. And she's a friend of mine, and she played Corona like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And was raving to me about it.
It's really big.
That was the first time I heard about this festival. Was when she told me about it, and she said it was an amazing show.
Okay.
So yeah.
You came here like today or?
I got in yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
You just got to your hotel and then
got to my hotel, walked around, had some food.
What you eat?
Got some tacos.
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah, sure. That's the really good thing about Mexico. It's tacos.
Good tacos. Walked around a bit. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, there's something really special about this city. I think this is a good time to be here too.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of cool and. You know, it's not too hot. It feels nice. It's sunny out.
Because in the summer, it's like really hot.
Yeah, I've heard.
But this is a good time.
It's a good time. It's beautiful, yeah.
And I want to know about how's your day talking about music in like order. I don't know if this is the way to say it. Like I wake up and I play some... I don't know, and then I go to eat and I don't know, see a YouTube video or I hear days.
Yeah.
If you can tell us how is your day in music?
Like on tour or just regularly?
If you want it on tour and
regular. I mean on tour you know the bus usually gets in around like 8 or 9 a.m. and so try to wake up and exercise and eat some food and then I don't know. There's a lot of waiting around in a music career. It's funny. It's one thing they don't tell you before you do it.
Yeah, sure.
It's like you spend a lot of time sitting and waiting. So you have a lot of time to yourself, a lot of time to think and read and let your mind wander. And I don't know. I've been privileged to like travel pretty much all over the United States and all over Europe, and I've seen a lot of places I wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a challenge to fill a day, you know, because you know you're playing an hour of music, and for that hour of music you have, you know, another 11 hours to kill in that day. Maybe you have sound check, but the rest of the day is a little bit unfocused, and I think that's why a lot of people, you know, struggle with drinking and all this stuff on tour, just because it just gets a little bit boring after a while, and lonely. Yeah, and then off tour, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I've been touring for about 4 years.
Okay.
So I'm just starting to really have some time off. Okay. And I'm still learning what it means to me to live my life when I'm not on tour. It's strange. You know, the order of tour has really tethered me to my reality, and I'm really trying to figure out, what my life looks like outside of it. And a lot of it's like self-motivating to create music and try to keep writing, and a lot of it's knowing when to not be an artist, right? Like I think an important part about being an artist is to know when to step away.
You have
be a person.
Got time to yourself.
Yeah, and see friends and like
you don't want to
do all that other stuff.
That person all the time.
No, and you got to live your life to write about it. So figuring that out and
Can you tell us about some music that's it's coming soon or?
Yeah, I've started working on an album the last couple months, so I've started writing a lot. Been writing in New York, and
we can know about what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I like to write a lot, so I'm just gonna try to write a ton of songs, and I think I'll sort of know. I'll know what it is once I'm further into it. You know,
and in that process, what's the thing that you do? Like, I do first. I write something and then I got the music, or first the music and then the writing.
I honestly like read a lot. I read a lot of poetry, and I just sort of try to get into the mind of what I want to say, and then you should start putting some chords together and then writing to it. And I'm trying to get better at writing slowly, being more patient.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm trying to write more songs about just the things that are actually in my head. I've written a lot about my life via the lens of romance and loss in the past couple of years, and I'm trying to challenge myself to write about life just outside of relationships and outside of romance, you know.
Okay.
So that's the goal for the next little bit, yeah.
And we have like some kind of title?
I don't know if I have a title yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to write 100 songs.
Okay, that's pretty.
And I think once I have 100,
that's a good title.
I'm trying to write 100 songs.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like 100 songs.
100 songs.
That's all.
Find a title. So yeah, I'll know when I know. You know, I think some people go in and knowing what they're writing their album about, but I don't. I sort of discover by writing. I feel like an archaeologist a bit, you know, brushing away at dust, and you sort of see the form of it expose itself as you go along.
Okay.
That's sort of where I'm at. Yeah.
That's cool. That's good. And for the last things of the interview, can you give us like you say books, you say a lot of albums and songs, but can you tell us like 2 songs, one movie,
2 songs, 1 movie,
and I don't know, 1 TV show?
Yes.
And 1 book, another book.
Perfect. Yeah. Can I give you albums?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so one of my favorite albums is an album called Neighborhoods.
Okay.
By an artist named Ernest Hood.
Ernest Hood.
And it's an ambient album. It's instrumental. But this guy, he was disabled. He was in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So he had trouble playing guitar. So he started making music on a zither, which is kind of like an auto harp. It's like a little plucked instrument, and he would play synth, and he made these great instrumental records that he would splice with field recordings of Columbus, Ohio, this city in America. And they're very beautiful records. They're very theatrical. They're perfect for like a Sunday morning.
Okay.
Very calming and light. Okay, another record. I've just rediscovered there's a Beach Boys album called Surf's Up.
Surf's Up.
And it's like a very dark record. It sort of marks the beginning of Brian Wilson's like mental decline.
Okay.
It sort of feels like a nightmare, the whole thing. It's like all the glitz of the Beach Boys plus like a hit of bad acid. It's really scary and beautiful. Okay. And there's a great song in there called Disney Girls.
Disney Girls?
Yeah, it's a beautiful album. Okay, and then you said a movie?
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw a great film called The 8 Mountains.
The 8 Mountains.
I can't remember the director, but it's a wonderful film. It's about friendship. And it's about these 2 boys who meet as children, and it just sort of follows their friendship over the course of a life as they come back together and fall apart, and their parents die, and they sort of build a house together. And I don't know, friendship is very sacred to me, and I feel like my friends have been the one constant over the last few years as sort of romantic relationships have started and ended, and as my career's ebbed and flowed. So that is a beautiful film. Yeah, so truly one of my favorite films I've ever seen. Okay. Okay, you said a book? Okay. I think one of my favorite books, there's a book called Stoner by John Williams, and it's sort of a forgotten American classic. The New York Times wrote about it like 7 years ago, and it sort of got a new moment in culture, and that's when I found it. And again, it's a book that is sort of a portrait of an entire life, the arc of an entire life.
Okay.
About this boy who grows up in rural America and during the Depression, and he gets an education, and he becomes a professor, and he has a wife, and then he has a second lover. And again, it's sort of beautiful in its monotony. Like nothing really happens, but there's something very profound about that. Okay. It's just a portrait of a life from birth until death, and I found it very profound. And it's the only book I've ever recommended to my father that he liked. So I was very proud of that.
Yeah.
Was there something else?
I think that's all. I said a TV show, but
a TV show. Yeah, I can give you a TV show. I'm rewatching The Sopranos. Have you ever seen The Sopranos?
I watched like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's so good. And as someone from the East Coast, it's like reminds me of home, and it's just so well done. Every episode is like a film, and the music is unbelievable. I mean, they have some really impressive music in that show. You know, like it's a good picture of music culture at that time. I guess it was like early 2000s, and there's a lot of
You can hear the 2000s.
You can hear the 2000s in the show. Yeah, and it really it's been a reminder to me that music is such a powerful part of film and TV, and it's been inspiring in that way. Yeah.
And I think that's all.
Great.
Thanks to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's
and great. We know a lot of music from you and books and a lot of things. Thanks for the recommendations.
Of course, thank you.
And if you want to say something to the people that's watching, that's a great way to close the episode.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really honored to be here. I've basically been touring since the pandemic ended and playing shows since the pandemic ended. And this show tomorrow in Mexico is my last show for a year.
Okay.
So it feels like really like the end of a chapter in a way.
It's a great way to close.
So it's a good way to end it. Yeah. I mean, it's the beginning too. I'm going to get to live my life and all that. But I'm really happy to be ending it here. So thanks for having me in your country.
No, thanks to be here.
Yeah.
And I think that's all.
Great.
Muchas gracias por el mixtape y pues vayan a ver Del Water Gap en Corona Capital y nos vemos en el siguiente episodio.
Del Agua Gap.
Hey, how you guys do? You ready? In the mixtape.